I'm Gerard Rocks, and I'm chairman at Hospital Radio Reading, where we do a large number of record request programmes for the patients. Before COVID, we were able to get into the wards on a very regular basis. We have a marvellous team of people who would visit the patients for an hour or 90 minutes before the show, collecting requests, making sure they know how to find the radio station, make sure they know it's free, and find out what they want to listen to. And of course, since COVID, we've not been able to get anywhere near a patient. At the moment, we're managing on average 5 of those request programmes a week. In the evenings, they tend to be done by people from their homes on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturday evenings. And there's a very small number, including me on the odd occasion, who are also coming in and do a show from the studio, which is what we're doing today.
Hello, my name's Rodri. I've been volunteering at Hospital Radio Reading for about 12 years. My day job is in IT, and until everything happened, I was running a comedy club in the evening and hope to one day do that again.
So my name's Stuart Holden. I work within Vodafone and I work within their public sector framework team. Not that it means anything to anyone. The reason I want to volunteered was I was very drunk one night when I was young, met up with Mr. Rocks, who's the chairman, and I decided at that point it was a really sensible idea to do. And then 15 years later, I'm still here and secretary of the Hospital Radio.
So in the average year, we've got around about 45 volunteers in various capacities, not all of them on air, but most of them doing something during the week. So as well as the record requests, there's a lot of specialist programmes as well, whether it's Motown or reggae or jazz or classical music. And there's even a marvellous comedy programme on a Wednesday afternoon that I've got a bit of a vested interest in. Ever since COVID struck, of course, the problem is that not everybody can produce a programme. Now, for some, it's not a problem because we do have a back library of lots of recorded programmes that we can use to fill the gaps. For others, they're actually making the effort to do the show from home. For instance, Paul, who does a live rock show from his house in Tilehurst on a Friday night, and Julie over in Wokingham, who does our religious programme, Words of Life, on Sunday afternoons. Then again, there's others who aren't quite so fortunate because some of our volunteers, for instance, are the football commentators. So until they get the permission to resume games at the Medeski Stadium, with or without a crowd, and we hope that it'll still be with commentators, until that moment, there's no football commentaries, so we've got 3 of our chaps who are sat at home twiddling their thumbs, wishing and hoping. Now, anybody who wants to be a volunteer in hospital radio, it helps if they've got a certain interest in radio, but it's not full of potential broadcasters or media students. We've got everybody aged from 17 through to 75. Most of them are still in full-time employment, which is why most of our live programmes go out evenings and weekends.
I'm co-hosting Stu's Number 2s. Well, it's a bit different because usually I do like the lunchtime show and I'd turn up in the morning, I'd walk around the wards for an hour chatting to patients. Obviously we can't do that at the moment, so we plug the phone number as much as we can, and thankfully some of the staff have been sending us long lists of requests from the patients, so we're still in touch with them. Then we do 2 hours. Stu plays number 2 records because he believes they're better than most of the number 1s, and we throw in the odd patient request as well when we get them. Hospital radio is really unusual and really good fun, and you might think at first glance, oh well, everyone has smartphones and stuff now, why would they need someone just to play them music? I view it as a big conversation starter. It means we can walk into a ward and say, oh, do you like music? Who do you like to listen to? And everyone has an opinion on music, so it's a great way of just providing company, and you meet a huge range of people.
You know, people talk about their past and their history, and certainly with the old generations, when I was war visiting, I used to get that all the time talking about the past. And music, for most people, is very evocative of memories and brings back some happy times. They always pick their favourite song, so we go and ask them, what's your favourite song, and get a request on. As much as we're local and it's only in the hospital, there's still that thrill and that slight excitement of getting a song played on the radio. So, oh, that's me, and your name being mentioned and so on.
Being in hospital is lonely and isolating enough as it is, and now it must be even worse because some of these poor people, the only people they actually get contact with are the people caring for them, and they're very, very busy. So just to hear a familiar voice and a a nice song down the end of the headphones hopefully is providing a lot of comfort to them. The coronary care unit is normally the best for weird requests. They play a game where they try and get as many heart-related songs. Achy Breaky Heart, Jerry and the Pacemaker seems to be a favourite. I was once asked to play Lady Gaga by, I think, a 90-year-old man, and then the entire ward started giggling, so they might have put him up to it.
We've got a large number of vinyl that go back to the 60s and 50s when we first started. You can see some of our albums collection behind us. We don't get beaten that often with strange and weird and wonderful requests. A lot of people with a very British sense of humour with their song requests. Some of the more morbid things, a Queen Who Wants to Live Forever is one of the classics we get asked for. There is a sense of giving back to the community and making people's lives just a little bit more comfortable. And you see some people who are really lonely, unhappy, and on the trying to get better. And when you go around the wards and people's faces light up, visitor, someone's coming who's taking interest in them and listening to them.
COVID-19 has changed the way hospital radio works quite a lot. For the first few weeks, we totally closed the studios, and while we were working out the best approach, we got members set up managing to broadcast from home. I set up a radio station in my bedroom. Good evening, it's Rodders here on your record request show. Working from home today, although nonetheless we are still connected to the Royal Berks via a series of wires. I'll be joined soon by my co-host Matthew. We're taking social distancing to a ludicrous extreme. We'll be on opposite sides of Reading, broadcasting to a hospital somewhere in between us near the centre of town. So we are far more than 2 metres apart. Our engineer Martin somehow managed to cobble it all together. So we had a reduced schedule of people broadcasting from home, and then once we spoke to the trust, we're allowing limited numbers back in.
We have 2 studios, fortunately, so we're lucky in that respect. I'll be in one studio and Rodders, or the co-presenter, will be in the second studio. We've done really well, actually, I have to say. COVID has not beaten hospital radio.
So it's important that patients know that Hospital Radio Reading is still there 24 hours a day, because a lot of it's pre-recorded and run by computers. We don't even need to lift a finger. But we're still functioning, maybe not on all cylinders, but plenty of live programmes going out as well for the patients to listen to and stop them getting bored. And it's important that they know, and that friends and relatives know, that you can still get in touch with us down the usual channels to have a record request played. Because the phone number from the patient's bedside, *800, is currently being diverted to my telephone. If it rings while we're talking, I apologise. We've got the internal phone number for members of staff, 8508. That's also being transferred to me at the moment. And you can also get in touch with us by email, requests@hrreading.org.uk, via our Facebook or hospital radio pages. And the number that you can call from outside, it's 0118 322 8508. If you ring it, the chances are it'll be me who answers it, and I look forward to hearing from you. But we've got a couple of tracks that are going to take us up to the 1 o'clock news from Pharrell Williams and Tina Turner. Actually, I think we'll have time for both of them. Tina is specially requested by Olinda Pinto. And I hope I've got the name right. I think it's Olinda, or rather than Orlando. She's a pain relief specialist here in the Royal Berkshire Hospital, and very kindly got in touch to say, well, she's actually doing her bit to help spread the word about Hospital Radio Reading still being in action, of a fashion, even though we can't visit you and spread the word ourselves face to face in the wards. So thank you, Olinda, for doing what you can to get the patients listening in while the crisis continues. At your request, we've got Tina Turner, and it's the best. What else could we play for the staff and the colleagues and the patients at the Royal Berkshire Hospital? Because Olinda did say to me, play it for the staff, play it for the colleagues. They're doing a fantastic job. I couldn't agree more. And here is Tina.